Welcome back to The Watch, and my gosh, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith.
We're a little bit late to the party on this, but I thought it was worth covering just, because it's just been a wild ride, man.
Oh, wow.
I used to love Will Smith.
Oh, same.
He was such a hero to all the boys around the world.
He was a good action actor.
Yeah.
I feel like he was top tier.
Classic ones like Independence Day and iRobot,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep.
I
All of
liked iRobot.
Yeah.
No, you just sent me down a memory lane there. But not so much anymore, sadly.
Never really even knew who Jada was. Didn't care. She appeared in a Matrix film, and that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what happened recently? Well, why don't we do a little bit of history first?
So they were married.
This is true.
And I have so little interest in celebrity relationships, right?
I know.
Generally. But when it spills over into something like this, where the behavior is really deplorable and they want attention and stuff like that, yeah.
Well, I think it's because Will Smith was seen as just like the coolest guy.
Yeah.
And you would think that he has a happy, great life. And it's like, well, you just feel sad for the guy.
Yes, because it turns out their relationship has been weird and messed up from the get-go. Like, they would have this mantra, worst marriage ever, and it's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know if it started when she started banging her son's friend, or
I think I went beyond earlier than that.
They had an interesting relationship.
And look, I have my suspicions. It's weird Hollywood relationships. So they love to explore open relationships in Hollywood heaps.
But imagine dragging your husband onto a national television to
just talk about how she cheated on him and it's his fault.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
It was.
And you see the guy's nuts just being metaphorically crushed, and his soul is dying in that thing, and it's just trying to get through it.
Yeah.
It's
But that's a bit of the history lane. Then the next development we had was it the Oscars? Oscars or...
an event that I call the slappening.
Right.
It didn't catch on. That's what I named it. I thought it was really catchy, but no one else picked it up.
It sounds a lot like the fappening, Shad. So
well,
be careful.
the thinging is the thing that you added to it. And I thought the slappening was a good name for it.
But it was weird more than anything else.
I mean, this is where everything really blew up in terms of dissecting their relationship and all that stuff. And Chris Rock made a joke about whatever her name was because she's bald, and that was a line too far for old Will. And Will went up and slapped Chris Rock.
Well, what happened was he made the joke. Will laughed.
Yes.
And then a little while later, he
you can see him laughing, right? And you see her expression, and she is just fuming, right? And then you can tell what happened. He looked over her. She's not happy. He feels like he has to prove something.
And he goes up and smacks Chris Rock.
And then she claims that she didn't ask him to do it. Like we saw your face.
And that was the last drama.
Well,
for
I
at
mean,
least a little while.
His career basically died since then.
Yeah.
And there was
he won that night, and everybody was clapping him, and everybody's like, "What?"
His acceptance speech was so full of bullcrap after what he did. He had the gall to get up and say, I am a river to my people, and is trying to be an example of something noble, and was like, dude, you just showed your real colors there. They tried to do some elements of damage control with some, press releases and whatnot, but mostly under the radar. Yeah. And now recently, Jada has come out with something.
A book.
I'm
pretty sure in the book she says that she's also Tupac was her soulmate, and over the years she said how much she loves and misses him and stuff like that.
Do you think this is a reliable source of information, this book?
I don't know.
It would be good to have an objective kind of view of it to tell us what's biased, or where does it come from and stuff like that.
Does something like that exist?
Well, kind of, actually.
Which it is?
With the sponsor of our video.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called Ground News. And what it does, basically, is if you see a news article, and funnily enough, there's one on Jada Pinkett Smith right here, okay? And everyone has a bias these days, it seems like. Look, we're actually pretty open about our bias, all right? But it's the people that claim
I like to think I'm pretty in the middle.
in
I'm
the
fair.
middle, but we lean right,
Yeah,
and we're open about that, right? But there are people who claim, I am so objective and even road and stuff, and when they're really not. And so Ground News actually lets you know, certain biases, who made the article, and gives you a bit of information to get a more, I guess, balanced view of the information you consume.
That's right. Echo chambers are a big problem in today's day and age.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to break free of one, Ground News seems to have you covered.
Yeah, I mean, look, you get these quick visual breakdowns from the of the news outlets reporting. It gives their political biases, how factual the source is, which entity owns the source. That one I find interesting because I really find like how certain articles, supporting Disney or certain giving positive reviews, there's like, ABC parent company, and yes, you find out like
It's crazy when all the titles are just the same with one or two words
yeah,
changed.
yeah.
Also really interesting, you can follow specific countries and read news related directly to that country.
And also, when you go to Ground News, it helps you follow the topics you're interested in because it'll give you the current, like articles that are out there for Hollywood, movies, TVs, politics, anything like that. Also, really interesting, helpful is that you can discover stories that are disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum using the blind spot feed. So if you go to ground.news/nights, you will be able to stay fully informed on breaking news, compare the coverage and avoid media bias. You can sign up or subscribe through our link to get 30% off. And that's 30% off, gives you unlimited access to this service to support their mission of unbiased news, and I think you'll find it very, very useful. Jada's book thing. Turns out she is saying that her and Will were separated, even when the slapping happened.
When the table thing happened, which seems
Table thing.
when she was saying she banged her son's friend.
Oh, even then.
Yeah, it was like 2016 or something. They said they separated.
It's this weird thing. It's called the red table.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't care.
All these mostly washed up B, C-list celebrities wanting to start podcasts now, and it's like
It's just very insufferable all round, to be honest. Funnily enough, they sit in a round table. Anyways,
a red round table.
Yeah, red
supposedly.
round
Yeah.
for red flags.
Inventive.
But it seems that in the book, she has said that they were separated this whole time, which I don't believe. That seems crazy.
Like I could kind of see. I could kind of see it as them living separated, but you know how that's that kind of bullcrap cope lines like, our relationship is having trouble. We just need to give each other some room to reassess and reset to come back even closer. It's like, no, that's just a smokescreen for wanting to bang other people.
I did see that some people were saying that it was because they're partners first. It's a business decision, and I don't understand the rationale of that, because what does Will get out of it?
Yeah, it feels like to me Will has been more desperate to hold the relationship together, where she needs her freedom and it's just tying her down, and she wants to bang other men, and she should have that freedom and stuff.
I think it's gotten to the point where people first they pitied Will Smith, they just felt bad for him, but at this point they're kind of just like, all right, now we're just mad at Jada Smith. Will is a sad little guy in the corner.
It seems like an abusive relationship where she is, been manipulating him quite a lot, and he is very weak-willed. Yeah. Will is weak-willed. And they're like, especially in terms of that, it really felt like she was indicating Will to, slap Chris on her behalf through body language at least, right?
I don't know, simp
But
energy.
Will seems real again, like very much simping kind of cucked, where it seems like he's quite desperate to keep the relationship together, even...
Which I don't understand. He's Will Smith, man. He's supposed to be that guy.
Maybe she has incredible dirt on him or something.
I thought you were going to say something else. One of those days.
You're awful, Tyranth. You're awful.
Well, I never know where you're going with it.
What do you think I'm going with it? Like, you think I would go there?
Yeah. I do.
Maybe. I mean, look, there's the rumor about Amber Heard that she must be...
Yeah.
Yeah. to keep these guys. She's crazy.
Yep.
Like, why are they guys so latched onto her?
Yeah.
There's the.
Yep. hmm
I like you don't get that energy from Jada at all.
No, you don't.
No.
I was going to say something controversial then, but I'll save it.
So I wonder if I don't know. Hollywood people just are weird, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder if there could be some really weird / even legal implications with certain kinks or whatever that and she has dirt on Will and so. But look, that's all speculation. I don't know if that's true, but Hollywood is weird and degenerate. And even then, right? Even if it's not something weird. There's something, right, that he is desperate to hold it together to the point where that slap to me was an act of huge desperation, where it was an overcorrection in him trying to protect his wife when really not. Like, she doesn't really care about him. Like there's so many examples of her using him at his expense for her own benefit. Like when she jumped him in. Did you see where she was live streaming? And started live streaming Will's reaction without his consent, basically, about appearing on her podcast.
I actually really get that. I don't like being filmed. Because we're on camera so much.
Yeah.
When I'm in my private
Yeah,
spaces,
yeah.
I do not want to be filmed.
Oh, yeah, I get that, right?
I get his reaction to that.
Well, absolutely. And the thing is, though, it's even more extreme. He tries to explain that as tactfully as he can. Like, my social media presence is my bread and butter, right? You can't jump this on me. And he's perfectly in his rights to explain that. And what she's doing is abusing him, okay? Filming him without his consent and for her own gain, right? And you think a loving wife who cares about her husband and specifically, asking for permission, consent, cares about her husband's consent, right? There's none of that there at all.
And I just, genuinely, I want Will to be happy again. I want him to go and be that guy again. I want him to go make cool movies and be cool again.
He's revealed his true colors, though. I have no respect for the guy.
But do remember, a woman can make men do crazy stuff. And especially when everything that comes out of her mouth in the public spotlight of Will is just disrespect.
See, I don't know. I want to believe people can redeem themselves. Absolutely, right? My problem with actors is that they're so fake. And you never know if it's genuine or not.
True.
Yeah. What do you think, Nathan? Do you reckon he could have a redemption?
He could, probably, yeah, maybe.
Genuine? Would you believe him if he did? He's an actor. They lie all the time.
But I would need, decades worth of proof.
Yeah, for ages, they've been lying about and acting, right? About having a positive relationship and getting along and him being an actual, respectable guy who's not cucked by...
But see, all this came out from her, though. It all started with her. Not him. He was good for how many decades? And then all of a sudden, all this started happening all at the same time. And then she kept in the public spotlight, airing all this stuff. It just...
If he came out and just, divorced her, I've had enough, it's done. And look, I am not an advocate of divorce, but I think, of course, there is a line.
There's a time and place.
There's a time and place where it reaches. And this is with what's going on in this relationship.
I'm sorry, when they're sitting on a TV show, it's we had an entanglement. I mean, that was the time and place. What are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
That was the line.
And it was their son's friend. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's just... And she probably still thinks she's justified and you have to respect her and she just needed her freedom. You degenerate, cheating, lousy cow.
I know we were late to the party on this one, but hopefully you got your money's worth. This has been the Jada Smith episode.
That's the big revelation, though, in the book, isn't it? We were supposedly separated when it didn't, it seems like maybe Will wasn't fully...
Yeah, he wasn't...
on board with that definition or judgment of the relationship. Yeah. Then what else has she said?
I don't know. I don't want to read a book.
We'll have to look it up on Ground News, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can. There we go. We appreciate Ground News sponsoring us and appreciate you guys for watching. As always, stay on watch.